Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I am so blessed and honored to be here with Rhiannon Brown, the newest talent associate here at GLOMO. Hey Rhiannon, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Whole new experience for me, but super excited. Excited to, I've watched plenty of times, so excited to finally be the person on the podcast.
I appreciate you saying you watch plenty of times. That actually makes me feel better. I appreciate that. Yes, for the record, I do have to hire people to watch this show. Thank you so much for taking the job, Rhiannon. Checking it. Hey, everybody, if you're with us right now, hit that like button right now. We're going to be talking about, what it's like to come into the workforce in 2022. This is our kind of the first, post-COVID kind of graduating class. I know we're not post-COVID. I know it's like weird. We can't even talk about if we're post, pre, or during or whatever.
No.
But it's a weird time to come into the job force right now. And I want to talk to Rhiannon about that. I want to talk to her about, what attracts people to companies now that she's on kind of both sides of the coin as a new talent and someone whose job it is to recruit talent. Such an interesting perspective. I can't wait to hear about that. And I just want to hear from her, and I'd love to hear your questions out there. So hit that like button if you're with us right now. Send a little love out to Rhiannon. Rhiannon, where in the world are you today?
Okay, so I am currently in Arlington, Virginia. So I'm fresh out of New Orleans, graduated from Tulane end of May. So I made the relocation myself from New Orleans up to Arlington the Memorial Day weekend, which was a whole different experience being a part of it.
Okay, I have to ask you right then and there, right? So you did a self-directed relocation from New Orleans to the DC area on Memorial Day weekend, kind of the unofficial start of peak season. I apologize to you.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I really wish I had hired someone to do it for me. That is all I'm going to say about the matter. It was interesting. I didn't quite realize how hard it is to move all of your belongings from a southern state all the way to the Northeast. But I had a great support system. My best friend flew down just to drive up with me. Shout out to her. She's the best.
Did you rent a truck?
No, I rented a car. And I forced myself.
You rented a car and it fit all your stuff in the car?
Just about.
So at least you didn't have to drive like a U-Haul over the Smoky Mountains or anything.
Look, I have a British driver's license. I can barely drive on the right side of the road here. If you think I could drive a U-Haul, then that would be a disaster.
Okay, so that's another thing. This is not a New Orleans accent, people.
No.
I don't care how long you've been on Bourbon Street. She is not talking Southern over here. Hit that like button right now. If you've got questions for Rhiannon, and nothing is off limits, you can ask her how terrible I am. You can ask her whatever you want to ask her. Put it in the comments. She's new to global mobility. We're going to talk about her first impressions from her own personal relocation to what it's like working with all you crazy people out there in the community. Let's see who's checking in. Hit that like button. Let us know who you are, where you are, and what company you're with. Jana is so excited. She says our baby is not a baby anymore.
Oh, love you.
Yeah, we were joking when you came on as an intern February 1st of this year. We were like, oh, we have a baby, and it's like, but now you're all grown up.
I know. And now I'm coming into my own. I'm bossy as ever.
I love it. Can't wait. This is fantastic. Jamie Masser, hey, Ben and Rhiannon, cheers from very sunny Mississippi. What's up, Jamie?
Awesome. Familiar with the Mississippi?
You are now, right? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. David Nathan, hello from Philadelphia. What's up, David? Caroline O'Keefe, hello from Kansas City.
Hello.
Let's see here. Ben Sukia checking in. GLOMO event in NOLA?
I'm trying my very best. I'm trying to get the whole relocation industry down to Bourbon Street for sure.
That could be good. You know, there's a CHIPA, Corporate Housing Professionals Association. Their annual meeting is next year in New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
Yep. We should do a whole other podcast on tips for Mardi Gras. I could speak for years about that.
I think we might have to have a top 5 at the end here. So if I spring it on you, I hope you can go off the top. Hit that like button. Let us know what questions you have for Rhiannon. She's new to the business. If you have any advice for her, I would love to hear it as well. Allie Madsen tuning in from Arlington as well.
Yep. That's my roommate.
That's your roommate. Hey, Allie.
She's hiding in the other room whilst I do this.
This is great. Whilst she's got the proper English here too, you can teach me a thing or two. Jana Bensuki, yes, we miss you too, mate. We saw Ben over in Sevilla, Spain last week. That was awesome seeing him. Danny Hurstwood's also part of the GLOMO team up in New Jersey. Yeah, we do have a pretty sweet team. Thank you, Danny, for saying that. Sean Luchins, way to provide a high-quality employee experience assisting her bed. Listen, Sean, I would have gave her a full package. She came to Dallas, man. She wanted to go to D.C., dude. That's not on me. We're just offering the flexibility, flexible work arrangements. Sean's giving me digs over here.
That's okay.
Let me ask you this. Do you think your employer should have assisted in your relocation to D.C.?
No, that was nothing I ever. At that point, it was a self decision to relocate to DC. If you had forced me to go to Dallas, then potentially I might. She
wouldn't have done it because I interviewed her. I asked her about it. I was like, "So what do you think about that?" She's like, "Maybe in a couple years, but I'm definitely not coming anytime soon."
No, I mean, I love Dallas from what I've heard, but I mean, for me, the relocation was just part of the graduation process, moving to a new city, doing that independently by myself as a recent grad. So I'm not too salty that you didn't help me out.
Not too salty. Not too salty. That's English for I'm very upset with you, Ben.
Pretty much.
Let's see what Caroline has to say. Rhiannon, how are you enjoying your full-time position at GLOMO?
I mean, I love this team. I talk about it to everyone I've ever met. I've been working with them since January. Completely came out of the blue, was not expecting it, but I feel like such a close part of the team. All you guys do is, teach me more and more and support me every day. And I'm loving it. Couldn't have asked for a better first time position out of college for sure.
You're honestly living my dream, Rhiannon, because you went to Tulane and you're working for GLOMO. That was what I always dreamt of when I was 22, and you beat me to the punch. So let's see here. We got Vancouver in house. So we got England. We've got Vancouver. We've got Brazil. Tony from California at Heritage Realty, working home with COVID. Dang, Tony. Hope you're feeling all right, man. We got Pakistan in the house. Hello from Pakistan.
See, we really are very global.
Isn't that crazy? We got like 5 people, and they're all from different countries.
I know.
That's great. Sarah, excited to be joining you from London, England tonight.
That's my mother.
Yeah, Mom. We love moms here on the show.
We do.
Shout out to all the moms. Shout out to Bensukia's mom. Shout out to Jana's mom. Yep. Everybody's mom who watches besides my own.
They're the biggest supporters.
All the supporters. We need all the help we can get. So Rhiannon, I got to ask you this. So we feel extraordinarily blessed to have you on the team. I want to ask you about intern programs because we were very fortunate. We brought you on as an intern. I want to give people maybe a little bit of some tips and tricks, maybe a little bit of a playbook, some guidance out there. If they want to put an internship program together that results in long-term success, i.e. being able to actually bring someone on full-time, what tips do you have for people about how to really attract top talent interns to your program and keep them? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I would say, based on my experience with GLOMO, that the top kind of quality that kept me along throughout the internship and helped me learn was definitely having that point of communication and having that person who I could go to when I had any questions and someone who was checking in. I mean,
and that person, for the record, is Jana, not me.
And Danny.
And Danny. Danny's great too. Love Danny Herskowitz out there.
Yeah, we'll give that Ben get some love too. But definitely during my internship, Danny and Jana were my 2 go-tos, and it just helped a lot having someone that I was confident enough to go and ask any questions, no matter how stupid it seemed at the time. If I messed something up, I wasn't afraid to explain what happened, and I knew I would still be supported and that I wouldn't be put down for it. And I think that helped me grow a lot of confidence to take on positions that scared me. But I was like, if I mess it up, I know I have this great support system who's going to help me learn from the mistake that I made.
You were so amazingly productive during your internship time with us. Honestly, exceeded all expectation. You actually got a placement during your internship.
I did.
I told someone who's been in recruitment for 20 years that today, and they were flabbergasted. How did you get to that point of being actually productive and ROI positive when so many people rely on their interns, for coffee, copies, and, busy work?
Honestly, I think it was the fact that I genuinely enjoyed what I was doing. You know, every time, you know, I was balancing school and internship, but I had my set days and I worked on different things. And every day that I logged onto my internship, I was excited to go out and speak to these people. And, you know, I was excited when we came out of our meetings and Danny would give me a new responsibility. And I think that I've always been a very independent, extroverted person, and all of my friends can attest that I can talk for days on end. So I think that this honestly was probably the perfect job for me. And by me doing that internship, I would get these positions and I would be scheduling these screening calls, and I was genuinely super excited to connect with these people. And I don't want to give myself too much credit, but I would say
nobody else will.
I would like to say that I'm a good judge of character. So with the first placement that I made, you know, the lady that I interviewed, we immediately connected. I immediately knew exactly what she was about. She was fully open and transparent with me about the stage she was in her life. I was fully transparent about what I was trying to do. And it just worked out perfectly. We're in constant communication, and it was great. You know, coming off of that, I had so much momentum and passion about getting another placement. It was, you know, it was like that little bit of dopamine, and I was like, oh, I want to get another one now. So I feel
you were literally living in a sorority house, placing global mobility professionals.
Not a sorority house.
It was incredible. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, like, you know, but I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you were in a college. Yo, that was incredible. I was blown away. Shout out to Danny, Jana for getting up to speed, but also shout out to you for being so curious and so willing to do things that are scary. And just, I mean, that kind of grit and determination, honestly, is good. You're going to move mountains. Hit that like button right now for Rhiannon. Throw a little like and support out to her. Also, if you have questions, throw them in the comments here. I've got a ton of questions around recruitment and around how you find the global mobility industry. So if you have questions for Rhiannon and you're watching right now, throw it in there. Mom, what questions you got, Mom? Love to know. Jack Jampel, shout out to Philly in the house. Awesome. Shauna's right. We do. We love moms because they love us. Elena, congrats, Rhiannon, and welcome to the DMV.
Thank you.
Nice. Look at this, Ludovic. Hi, Ben. Hi. Good to see you. This is great. Tony, let's talk soon. Sounds good.
He's doing some networking.
Danny's over here closing deals over here. I love it. Fantastic. Hubert, congrats, Rhiannon. Hubert runs the Global Business School over at the University of Texas at Dallas.
Yeah, we've been doing some great brainstorming. So I'm super excited for that.
Phenomenal. In fact, we actually might do a program, and Rhiannon, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We talked to Hubert about how we can do a global mobility. Gosh, Hubert, what was the word we came up with? Was it like talent expo or job expo? How can we do a global mobility job expo?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a great idea. I think that, you know, prior to me entering this industry, I knew very little about the global mobility industry, but I think that there are so many people out there that would love to go into this industry. It's so tight-knit, it's so interconnected, it's awesome. And I think that by creating an opportunity to broadcast all the fresh talent coming out of that grad school would be an amazing opportunity. You know, we're here to find not just like the right candidates for jobs, but also to help people that want to get a job, help them find the best job for them. So
do you think that it should be in person or virtual? Because you go to a lot of like career fairs or whatever at a college, right? And they bring people in and they set up a booth and you kind of walk around, drop resumes, you know, get in literature, enter their employee portal or whatever. Do you think we should do it virtual so the whole world can participate? Do you think we should kind of focus it around Dallas? I mean, what are your thoughts there, Rhiannon?
Honestly, I think we should take advantage of the world being thrown into this virtual realm. I think that you can reach so many more people, and that now a lot of the companies we're working for, you know, they want you to go remote. They're open to hybrid. They're open to hearing what works best for you. And why wouldn't we want to attract candidates from all over the world? Because that's how we're going to find the best talent. So,
yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, I think we should.
What if we did this? What do you think about this idea? So, you know how we have like a virtual office? Like Wonder, you know, we've got little virtual office, little circles and everything.
Yeah.
What if we did something like Wonder and we invited everybody into Wonder and we created little like circles, which could be like employer booths, you know, and they could go to the different, and they could learn about the different companies, you know, and go hear from the hiring manager and network that way. And we could just open it up for hundreds of people. Globally.
No, we can totally do this. I actually was part of a business fraternity during my time at Tulane for a period. And when we were doing recruitment, when COVID first came up, we had this interface, and I'd have to remember exactly what it was called, but you would have different people sat at different tables, and then people would just go and attend the table and chat to you. So there's definitely a lot of ways we could do that. And I think, why not? Why not get to speak to a load of people from the comfort of your living room and find out all the new job opportunities rather than having to travel somewhere?
The other thing, I think you're right. The other thing that Hubert and I were talking about is global internships. They want to do more global internships. And it's like, how can we help people get global internships? I mean, we did an internship which was remote.
Yeah.
You were in New Orleans. And how, but like, would you ever consider a global internship? What are your thoughts around the idea of a global internship?
I mean, again, I think it's awesome. I mean, I think it's very hard because, I was an international student myself, and I've been on a visa for the past 4 years now. And I think that not enough people actually know the ins and outs of kind of the visa and immigration laws. And I think that that is something in itself that would be good to kind of find a way to educate more people on. But I think that once you have the capabilities now with virtual, you really can do anything. And if people are willing to adapt to the time changes needed for that industry, then why can't we hire people in Europe for our internship? The perfect person out there for your company could just be in a different country. And we work in the relocation industry. We know how to get them those, we know how to deal with the immigration. We know how to deal with the visas. We know how to relocate them if they want to. So
right. It should be easier for us.
Yeah, and it opens those doors. I, luckily enough, was already at school in the US, but if I hadn't been at school in the US, I never would have been able to apply for the GLOMO internship, and I'd be in a completely different position I am now. So I definitely think opening up those doors is something that we're able to see as a possibility. So we should definitely try.
I like it. It makes sense. I love it. Hit that like button right now for Rhiannon. We got Danilo here. Big hello from Brazil. What's up? Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Caroline can confirm your extreme productivity. Caroline, can you tell us one thing about Rhiannon that we might not know? I would very much enjoy that. Yeah.
For preference, Caroline was one of my roommates in New Orleans. She has seen me in the GLOMO office every single day. So
yes,
she can attest to me.
I remember literally it was Mardi Gras and there was a party going on, and you're like, no, I think I got like 45 more minutes. We can hammer out some things, make some calls. I was like, God bless this woman right here. She has got grit and determination. I would have been on St. Charles, doing all sorts of craziness. Let's see. Danny's saying Rhiannon breaks records. Yes, I think that's that is a definite prophecy there that might come true. I want to ask you, what are your thoughts about global mobility? I mean, you've gotten really thrown into the deep end here, and Caroline, she's GLOMO's biggest fan. She totally hooked you up on that one. She could have said anything in the world, and she just threw a softball out there.
She knows me. You too, Caroline. She knows me well. No, I mean, I still have a lot to learn about this industry. Don't get me wrong. I've been here for 6 months. There is so much I do not know.
Anything stand out to you that's like surprising though? Like anything that was like different than you thought it was going to be?
I honestly think the kind of the community aspect of the industry. Like you hear about, all my friends graduating and working in these industries, but they don't have these kind of conferences that we have, and they don't have all these connections with people. And, especially I think working with the team we have, you, Danny, and Jana all have so many connections with the industry. And, we'll be talking to one person, you'll be like, oh, I know that person, and I know that person's boss, and this person's whatever. And it's just so interconnected, and I love it because I think, yes, like there is a competitive aspect in some ways, but we're all working towards this mutual goal of just helping people and making, working and relocating and working globally the easier thing. And I think that I never would have predicted that everyone in the industry was like somehow either related or best friends, but I love it. It's really great.
It's really a tight-knit industry. And I was asking Lynn Shotwell, the president of Worldwide ERC, about this when I was in Portland with her a few months ago. And I was like, you've worked in immigration, you've worked, for SHRM, you've worked in like different pockets. She was a lawyer. Like you worked in different pockets. I was like, if we feel like we're close, we talk about how we're like a family. I was like, are we different, or is every industry like this, right? And they all hug and hang out at each other's house. And she's like, no, y'all are different. She's like, y'all are very different. This is not normal. And I was
Honestly,
like,
I think it's the world's best kept secret. I knew nothing. I'd never even heard of this industry until I found myself somehow landing in it. And I think
it is the best kept secret in the world.
It is, and there's no awareness.
We're the best people. I mean, if I can just go off on a tangent, it just sounds crazy to say we're the best people because we're globally curious, we're empathetic, we're smart because we know a lot about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I feel like our business is to serve other people in very like hard times in their life.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just takes like that's like my kind of person all rolled into one, you know?
I know, it's giving me a bit of a God complex.
Yeah, and then we get to go around the world to amazing, fabulous conferences and see one another.
I know.
And it's like, unless you're going to be like a rock star, professional athlete or something like that, like it's got to be like top 5 best jobs in the world.
Yep. I completely agree.
I want to know out there, Rhiannon's new to the business. What piece of advice would you give someone who is new to our industry about how to be successful? Put it in the comments. This goes out to all of you, Jamie, Jack, you know, Jana, everybody that's checking in right now, Ray, I see all of you. What piece of advice would you give to someone starting out their career in any career field or in global mobility? I want to know. We're going to crowdsource this real quick, Rhiannon. You like this idea?
Yeah, let's go for it. I mean,
thank goodness you like this idea because I really don't. Jamie said, "Did Ben offer settling in services?" You know, I don't know that I did, Jamie. That's a little reload joke there. Yeah, funny. Are you looking forward to going to some of these conferences yourself, Rhiannon?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm honestly really mad that I didn't get to go to Seville. Like, I'm still kind of
like really mad, like legit mad. Like, forget the fact you were graduating and relocating across the country. You were like mad about it.
I mean, the timing was just so inconvenient. Like, someone was out.
You should have dropped out of school your first semester, senior year, and then you would have been freed up and you could have done whatever you wanted.
I know. I think I needed to fulfill that one before I went to Seville.
Didn't plan that very well,
no,
did you?
But I am super excited to go to them and meet all these people because they look like so much fun. GLOMO after parties apparently are talk of the town, and that's probably where I'm meant to be.
It's kind of a problem. Like I think we might not. We might be in the wrong business. We got to figure out a way to monetize these parties because we sure do drop some coin on them. Shout out, by the way, to Jana, who's planning a Las Vegas after party right now at the Wynn at the Encore Beach Club after the foundation. That's going to be ridiculous. So yeah, come to that in October. Let's see here. We got more roommates checking in. Hit that like button right now if you were ever a roommate of Rhiannon Brown, or you're related to her. You know,
I've had a lot.
Amanda, as another one of Rhiannon's former roommates. It's like they're all coming out now. They're like, I was also a roommate of Rhiannon's.
Well, I'm going famous, so they're getting their clout in.
Roommate, she is such an upbeat and dynamic individual and will be successful just being herself.
Miss you, Amanda. She's the sweetest.
You really do have, I got to say this about you. I was impressed when we were on calls with, you know, RMC clients, like people in the talent side who've been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years. You can really hold your own in a conversation with these people who are, you know, 40, 50 years old, who have been doing this for a long time. You really impressed me with that, because a lot of people who are kind of junior and just kind of fresh out of school, whatever thing, would kind of shrink back from that moment and would kind of like just be more of an observer and everything. You really stepped up to the plate and with extreme confidence. And a lot of time that's our job, right? Is to be confident. I mean, before we get the role, in order to get the role, we've got to be confident and let the other person know that we can handle this. And I think you do that magnificently well.
Thank you. No, I mean, I think, again, it's just a attestation to having that small, close-knit team. You know, I was always comfortable coming to you, Jana and Danny, and you all, you know, trumped me majorly in the experience, but everyone was willing to listen and wanted to hear what I had to say and wanted to hear my input. So I think it just taught me to be confident in what I had to say, because even when I didn't think I had a spectacular out there thought, you guys would be like, wait, that's a really great idea. And I think I just have grown to become a very confident person, and I'm very thankful. I think Tulane taught me a lot, and I'm very grateful for that.
I love that. I'm going to ask you, what's something you learned through whether the internship process or being kind of new in the role? What's something you've learned since you started at GLOMO?
Oh, goodness me. A lot. But I think, honestly, being at GLOMO has taught me that, like, rejection is okay. I think that the one part of being a recruiter that scared me a lot was all of everyone that knows me can attest, I'm a big people pleaser. I like to make sure everyone else is happy before myself. And I think that learning that if someone doesn't respond to my LinkedIn message, if someone doesn't want to meet with me, I shouldn't get upset and take that to heart. It's just part of the job. And I think that it's really taught me to be able to persevere through like those times when I got a rejection. Like last week I lost an opportunity that I was upset about, but rather than letting it dictate my entire future experience, I just had to kind of bounce back and be like, okay, that was annoying, I'm gonna mope for an hour and then I'm just gonna have to get over it. So
I love that. I saw a speaker. You're so right. I saw a speaker one time at a big convention. He said, "Listen, it's okay to throw yourself a little pity party for like an hour. Put on your favorite, sad song. Throw yourself a little pity party. Cry about it. Lock yourself in the room. Maybe eat some food that's bad for you. And then you got to at some point you say, you know what? Okay, now boom, that's over. And now we're going to move forward. And it's a trick to not let your failure here become your failure there.
For sure.
However, letting your success here motivate your success here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like allow the positive prediction of future results, but not the negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally agree. I think
super cool.
Learned a lot.
Super cool. We got some people checking in here. Tony saying, very important, be a good listener and being patient.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
What do you think about the listening skills? Because as a recruiter, you're going to take in a lot of information.
I mean, not to bring up the mums again, but my mum, as a therapist, has taught me how to listen, much to my younger self's dismay. I would like to think I've turned myself into a good listener. I always try to be the person to go to when, in college or friends need advice or whatever. So I think I've definitely developed those skills, and, I always need to work on it more, but definitely you need to be a good listener in this, experience, because if I didn't listen to kind of the undertones of what these people were saying to me, I never would truly know what anyone wants out of me.
You're so right. You're so right. Because so many people will say one thing, but they mean another thing.
Yep. I
mean, and you have to really pick up on that.
Yeah, we work as almost a middleman at points, and you have to know what both sides of the people that you're working with, exactly what they're looking for. And people might tell you they want something, but really you figure out a week later that that's not actually what they wanted. That's what they wanted to believe they wanted. So I think that you have to be able to pick up on that.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. I'm going to ask you about that too in a minute here.
Yeah.
Simon Scott checking in from Altair GLOMO after party. What was that where I was?
Sounds like Simon, it was a good one if you can't remember.
Simon, if it was 4 a.m. and you weren't in your bed, then you were at the GLOMO after party. I hate to break it to you, buddy. Yeah. You might have a tattoo where you can't see it. So just have somebody you trust check you. Let's see. Elena Anderson, one piece of advice: do a volunteer role in the field to meet more people and to pick up industry insights.
Awesome. Yeah.
I love this.
That's a great piece of advice.
Elena is one of the smartest people in this business. She says, I know. The volunteering is so key. I'm a big fan, Rhiannon, of you get out what you put in.
Yeah, for sure.
And there are so many volunteer opportunities on regional basis. So you're in the DC area.
Yeah.
Perfect example. There's the Greater Washington Employee Relocation Council, AKA the GWERC. Okay. GWERC. Yes. So you should get involved with the GWERC. I believe, check me if I'm right on this. Could somebody check me? I think Evan Miller is the president maybe of the GWERC. Rolando Killebrew might have been. Kennebrew. And but yeah, so get involved there. Go to the quarterlies there, volunteer. They're always looking for help, whether it be, where one of the best volunteer opportunities is, the registration desk.
Yep.
Everybody stops by the reg desk, picks up their badge, gets their bag. They always need people to stuff those bags full of stuff. Mm-hmm. I see Jana nodding her head backstage. Yes, it is the She's like, wait, you're watching me? No, it is the best way to volunteer. Elena, what is your favorite volunteer opportunity? Put that in the comments. What is your favorite volunteer opportunity in this business? Love
or
to
even know. in the DMV area, if that's where you know of.
Yeah, and Elena's in Maryland too, and I'm sure she'd meet you up for a coffee or a
for sure.
glass of wine or martini. Elena, what are we sipping on these days? Jamie Master, find a great mentor. Join a few regional mobility groups. YP40 group. Utilize area orientation apps, i.e. Pivot. Awesome. You know, Jana is on the YP40 committee for Worldwide ERC.
She is. Well, me and her will have to have a little chat.
Yeah. I did 2 terms on that as well. It worked out all right for me.
Yeah.
So after Jana finishes taking over the world in the under 40 set, maybe we'll open up a spot. And yeah, she's excited for you back there. Keep putting these pieces of advice in here. I want to know what you think. Also, what are the best volunteer opportunities in the biz? Let us know. Jack Jampel, yes, we are a mushy gushy industry. Jack, we're coming to New York City, Jersey area, Jack. Shout out to Jack. He's in Jersey. Jersey Shore in the summer, Philly in the winter. Jack. Breaking news. Thursday. Oh, I gotta get my calendar up here. Thursday.
Last Thursday of June.
The 30th. Shauna's giving me she's giving me the 3-0.
Yep.
Thursday, the 30th of June, Jack. We're having a Jack Jampel happy hour in DC. Mm-hmm. Unofficial name, working title. But you got to come through, Jack. We'd love to have you. It'd be great to have you. In
New York. Not in
anybody else in the New York City area, come through. It's going to be amazing. You're going to get to meet Rhiannon. You're going to get to meet Danny, Jana, myself. We've got a new intern.
Yeah. Shout out to Amanda. Super excited.
Amanda's amazing as well.
She is.
We should talk about Amanda while she's not here.
Yeah. I did pick her, so credit goes to me.
You know what? We're going to ask you all about that as well. Let's see here. Elena, you are amazing. Conference planning committees are great opportunities to learn what is happening in the industry, and you get to shape the content for the event. And not only do you get to shape the content, you get to pick the people who sit on the panel.
Interesting.
People can be very appreciative of the panel picker.
Good to know.
So you pick a panel, it could be a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Sean Lucians, go one step further and use your skills to volunteer outside of the industry. Recruiter connector skills are truly unique and can be used by many people's, in many ways by nonprofits.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, I could see that one, right? Because I mean, there's a lot of skills from sales, prospecting, connecting. I could see great opportunities to meet Rhiannon Brown and Amanda Bindal in person. Jana, do we have a venue yet for that? I don't think we've finalized it yet, have we? The venue? No, we're teasing it still. We'll probably have it by Friday. We'll see.
But it's going to be the first time we're all together.
Yes. What do you think? I mean, what are you thinking about that? We've never actually met in real life.
I know, and it's kind of freaking me out.
Is it?
Because, well, even just things like, I know how we all look when we're all sat at a computer, but you know, what does it feel like when everyone's stood next to you? Like, what height is everybody? You know, like,
you know, I've got. You're gonna be very disappointed. I'll be honest with you. You're gonna be very disappointed, and
I'm gonna be the tallest of the group.
You're probably gonna resign. To be honest with you, and I'm not looking forward to this, but you're like, listen, this is not what I was sold. I really thought that you'd be taller, slimmer, more attractive, and I got to resign on that basis. So goodness. I apologize. Jana's laughing. I love it. Jana's letting you know right out the gate. I'm short. Deal with it. Don't make a big deal about it.
She's a firecracker. She needs to be short.
Yeah. Imagine she was tall.
If Jana was tall, I would never want to meet her.
I would be like too much. It would be too much. Like we couldn't have a tall Jana.
She would take over the world if she was tall.
She would. Oh my gosh.
No,
yeah. So what have your friends been talking about this at all that have also gone into the workforce right now? Like what it's like graduating into are they working virtually? Are they in office? What's their deal?
See, it's actually kind of interesting. So a lot also I did just graduate in May. So a lot of my friends are still either in the job, grading process, or some of them are going to grad school. But from the people that I know that are in full-time positions, a lot of them actually are on hybrid. I don't actually know anyone that is fully remote other than me. Now that I'm thinking of it.
This is a red flag.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just kidding.
a little bit. I mean, I think that it's definitely interesting because, you interact with these people every day. I speak to you, Danny and Jana, every single day. I speak to Danny probably 20 billion times a day. We're always on Zoom calls. And it's really weird to me that we're in completely different places, and Jana, we're in completely different countries, but yet you're building this relationship with someone that you've never even met. And I don't think I've ever really experienced that before because, when COVID hit, I was already in college and I already knew pretty much everyone that I had surrounded myself with. So it's definitely a new experience. I've never, hugged any of you guys. I've never been in the same vicinity as you guys. And it's like a whole new experience, yet we all spend every day together. So
you'll like the in-person element.
I think I will.
When we come together, and that's why Jana and I made a commitment to really do this kind of on a quarterly basis.
Yeah.
Because it was really her urging, her idea, because there's really something special that happens when you get in the room. And especially, you have a couple cocktails, you get to know one another. You kind of start to work on problems from different angles, and you get to whiteboard stuff out and everything. And it's just it's so special, and it's so important, I think, while we're doing this totally distributed workforce, to be able to come together kind of on a quarterly basis and really like not necessarily sync up idea wise, but like sync up like heart wise.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of crazy. Like I know Jana and I have like a running joke where like we like I think with my heart, not my head, kind of thing. And but I think we have to sync up and make sure we're kind of like calibrated, like from a value standpoint, just like we're all feeling good. We're all feeling like we're moving. There's trust, all that stuff.
No, I mean, I think that we're a team of 4, now 5, of completely different people from different places throughout the world, and we found a way that we all work perfectly together and we all build on each other. And I think that relationship is something that is super special to all of us, and being in person just kind of solidifies that. It's not just saying hi to someone over Zoom, it's actually spending time with that person and spending time with them also away from work, building that relationship outside of all the assignments we're doing and kind of getting to know each other one-on-one. And I think that's something that our company is great at, and I love that.
Let me ask you this as we continue to talk about your friend's situation. As Caroline's saying, that's a great perspective. One of the things that we've been hypothesizing on this show quite a bit, when we talk about, will there be a return to office? What does the future of global mobility look like? And one of the arguments for returning to office is that new young people who are entering the workforce will have a hard time networking, developing those mentor relationships, creating those kind of, I'll say alliances, with other folks in their organization that they feel like they can trust and they can go to with projects and ideas and things like that. Have your friends talked to you at all about any challenges that they either are having or foresee in remote environments as far as networking within their organization, getting opportunities, getting face time, being recognized, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that, again, I'm in a very unique position where I work in a very tight-knit team. And most of my other friends have positions where they're working in, really big companies and really big teams. And I think that for them, being in person is a more beneficial way for them to build those one-on-one connections, because we all have a lot of time while we're all in the same, virtual room chatting and talking about things other than just what we're doing in the moment. But for other companies where you're just, for example, my friend, they use like Slack for their work. So that's the way that they all communicate with each other. So, but if you're just only able to kind of message this person when you have one query, you're not really actually getting to know that person. So I agree to some extent that I think that being in person helps you foster those relationships. But also I don't think I think it's more just about the effort and the kind of team, the hierarchy within the teams, because I think that you can equally, you know, have a Zoom meeting or a Wonder Huddle bubble, whatever it is, with anyone that you want to, you know, build that mentor relationship with. It's about both people wanting to build that relationship and putting in the time aside. You know what I mean? I feel like you three are my parents, and I don't want to give favoritism, but obviously Danny.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite right now?
I'm not going to tell you my favorite.
It's not me. That means it's not me. Okay, so one down. It's got to.
Look, I think me and Jana have our girl code. Me and Jana are besties. Female power. But Danny is my mentor. He has seen me through this entire process and taught me everything about talent. And I would not be as comfortable and as, I don't want to say talented, but talented in the industry as I am without Danny actively taking so much time out of his every day to bubble with me and listen to everything I had to say, no matter how stupid it was. And big shout out to him, because he put in that effort to build that connection with me virtually. So now, you know, we just have that great relationship where we can go back and forth and build on each other.
I agree. And he did all that while putting together probably 2 of the biggest months he's ever built, too.
Exactly. So huge shout out to him.
Huge shout out to Danny Herskowitz.
He's the best.
Best in the business. I stand by that. Fantastic. Jamie's shouting out St. Jude over here. Is a good opportunity to get involved. Love it. Fantastic. I got a couple questions here for you, Rhiannon. All right. And I'd love to hear if you have any questions for me too.
For sure.
Okay.
You can go first.
All right. I've been going first. That's okay. What's a piece of, we've asked people to give you advice.
Yeah.
Well, what's a piece of advice that you have for, you know, young people, you know, want to start something new in their life?
Okay, this is going to sound really generic, but I mean it. I think honestly, just be open to every opportunity, no matter if it's what you think you want to do. Because if you told me like last year when I started my senior year that I'd be working for this company in a relocation industry as a recruiter, that is not something I necessarily would have said I saw myself doing. Right. And I think that, you know, I realize now that I kind of somehow went with my gut and it all turned out perfectly. And I think that this was definitely where I was meant to be. But I wouldn't have done it without just being willing to apply to a lot of different positions with different qualifications and just see what was out there. So I think it's don't close yourself off.
What did you think you were going to be doing 2 years ago? If I asked you, what did you think your job after college was going to be?
God, I would think that I'd be back in London right now, probably working a part-time waitressing job, just freaking out and trying to figure it out. I would not have expected that I moved by myself to a new city in the US and had a full-time position with a company. So that in itself is a whole curveball to my experience, but it all worked out, and it always does. So you just have to take those opportunities, and it's scary. And I mean, I've done the job search. My friends are going through it. It's really hard and it's really scary right now, but definitely just put yourself out there and take on every potential opportunity, because you never know what's going to work out.
I was supposed to be an English teacher.
I cannot see that for you. No. You in a classroom would be scary. You would breed some pretty irresponsible children.
And now the truth comes out. 1:43, the truth comes out. No, you're right, though. You're right, which is why we can't like be overly prescriptive in life, right? No. And we can't say, oh, I'm going to grow up and be an English teacher. And then when it turns out your skill sets are wholly in a different direction, right? And I would have totally missed like my blessing in life to do what I'm doing now with you and all these wonderful people here, you know? So it's right. But why do we forget that in life? Think about it, right? So you have this now, right? And you are open to things, and, you know, and thank goodness you work, because here you are, and this is amazing. But at some point in life, we forget to be open, and we become more scared of the unknown, and we don't take chances, and we don't do things. And all of a sudden, at some point in life, we're like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't get out of this business and mobility where everybody knows me and I'm known and I'm making X salary and whatever, and try to go into software sales and start over. Like, there comes a point in our life where you become afraid of that. And I give it to Jana, right? You know, who's closer to my age than yours, right? and she still has that in her. You know, she still has that ability and that courage and that flexibility to be able to make that leap. You know, I was so blessed when she came on board. I never thought that would ever happen, you know, and that was amazing because she was still flexible enough in her mindset, you know, and trusting and just courageous enough to make that jump. And just look at me and the amazing things that were happening because, you know, that are happening now with us all working together because we all believe in what we're doing. We believe in one another. And I just think that's really great word for everybody out there who's watching this right now.
I mean, I feel like we've all had this conversation before, and you've spoken about, you know, you making the jump to starting GLOMO, and that was a big thing for you, and everyone maybe thought you were slightly crazy at the time.
Super crazy.
But now you have all these people who are a part of your company and who only have great things to say. And
now I'm in a classroom raising irresponsible children, to your point. And it's very scary what's going to happen because this is why we need checks and balances. So I appreciate you being here. You might now be the most responsible person at GLOMO, which is also a scary thought, but we'll find out when the four of us hit Manhattan together. We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are going to come off of that with a good reputation.
Hopefully Amanda. God bless Amanda. Let's hope Amanda is that person.
She can keep us grounded for sure.
We need the intern to call it, I think, for us. Let me ask you this. What are you most proud of?
It's like in my entire life.
I don't know. This is how you wrote the question. So I'm just
I wrote the question.
What are you most proud of? You wanted a better question. Write a better question. I'm just saying.
You gave me a lot of prompts. Okay, there was a lot to think about. It was 9 a.m. I was not caffeinated enough to deal with that. What am I most proud of? There are a lot of things I'm proud of. I think just overall, you know, everyone's gone through hard things. COVID has been hard. I've had my own mental health struggles. I've, you know, gone to a school 1,000 miles or, you know, tens of thousands of miles away. And it was hard. And I think that I'm proud of myself for in the really hard times when I wanted to just kind of give up and go home and just hide from everything that scared me. You know, I kept on, and that's why I have all these amazing people in my life and all these amazing friends that are, you know, cheering me on while I do this podcast, because I really just like stayed when I really didn't want to, and it paid off. And now I'm so grateful for everyone in my life and where I'm at. So yeah,
that's super cool.
A little bit cheesy, but
hit that like button if you love Rhiannon's cheesy answers. I sure do, but I'm busy, so I can't hit it. But y'all hit it for me. Sean Luchin says, congrats again, Rhiannon. Started my career in recruiting eons ago. Such valuable skills you carry everywhere, no matter where you go. Sean, one piece of recruiting advice I would love to know. Please throw it in the comments.
Yeah.
Danny Herskowitz says, that means the world to me to hear you say that, Rhiannon. I honestly see you as a mentor of mine. Also, I learned so much from you, and you have pushed me to continue getting better as a recruiter. But you know what, Rhiannon, that's true, though. Like, you don't have to be older than somebody to mentor them, you know?
No, I know.
We all inspire each other with our different skill sets and the things that we bring to the table. And so I think, you know, that's one thing that Janet taught me. You know, our first producer on this show, Janet Turner, you know, taught me that, you know, you can mentor up, you know. Sure. So let me ask you, you talk about the things you're proud of, you talk about the things you've done. Let me ask you, is there anything that you regret that you go back and change?
See, this question always interests me because no, I wouldn't change anything. And again, this is so cheesy and I sound like a self-help book, but I wouldn't go back and change anything because I'm happy with where I am now. I think that there were times that I maybe, you know, didn't make the best choice and maybe acted immaturely, but I had to learn from it. And, you know, I still have so much to learn. I'm 23 and a little bit crazy at times. But
and it won't be the last time. And you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your
Exactly. Successes. But there's no point worrying about what could have been if I changed the past, because I'm happy with where I am now. Whatever faces me in the future, I'll get through it. So
awesome. I love it. This is great. Do you have any questions for me, Rhiannon?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can turn the same question back on you. What is your biggest regret? And you can't use my answer.
And I can't say none like you did?
Nope.
Okay, I will say gosh, you know, every time I think of one, I think of what it's also done for me.
Exactly.
So I left college without finishing my final paper for my final class. So I actually didn't graduate when I left. and I took a job as a vice president of sales for a company, and they fired me because I didn't have my college degree.
Wow.
It was like by far the biggest job. I was vice president. I wasn't even 30 years old. I was like vice president. I was making way more money than I ever thought, whatever I ever made. And then they fired me because I didn't have my college degree. And so, I mean, a regret could have been that I didn't finish, right? But then I would have never gotten fired from that job. And that job was honestly the worst job I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
So like God forbid I would have stayed in that job any longer than I did. It was the worst thing ever. I hope they're watching. It was terrible. And so my point is, like, to your point, really, your point is, like, it all makes us who we are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I would have spent more time with my grandmother when she was alive, things like that. I wish I would have started my company earlier, and not waited till I was almost 40, right? That kind of stuff. Wish I would have bought a house sooner. Stuff like that, but like whatever. It's just money. It's probably more the time thing, time spent with people. Yeah. So good question.
I mean, it's interesting. And I guess segueing off of that, if I get to be the question asker.
Please, I love it. Give me a break.
Based on your experience with not finishing your college degree, what benefit do you see in the college degree, and do you think it really should be a requirement for all of these jobs?
I love this question. And my answer is yes. It should be a requirement, and of some jobs.
Yeah.
And yes, I do find value in it. And it's not in the degree itself, because they're all different. They're all different curriculums. I mean, my English degree is different than a biology degree, is different than a business degree, whatever. But what it shows is you can finish something. You start something and you can finish it.
Yeah.
And I like to make fun of people who are anti-participation trophy, because there's some people out there that will like punch you in the face if you say you like participation trophies. And I love to troll those people, because a college degree is the world's largest participation trophy. You showed up, you were half drunk, you cut a lot of classes, you still passed. You gotta scroll. Yeah. Right. Like nobody cares what your GPA is. Nobody cares like what you studied in school. I mean, unless it's like a hard sciences, right? Unless you're like a whatever pre-law or whatever. Like most people don't really care what you studied or what your GPA is. But you get it, and once you get it, you're on the same footing as everybody else who got one. And so to me, it's kind of like the world's biggest participation trophy. But the reason participation trophies are important is because you only get them at the end of the season. You only get them if you're still there.
True.
And so many kids quit, and I was one of them who quit in the middle of the season. Yeah. Right. And so I think there's a lot to be said for showing up. I think that's more than half of life is showing up. Yeah. Paychecks are also participation trophies.
Yes,
you get them every 2 weeks, regardless of how you do.
And they're a lot more fun than college degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. But that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, thank you for answering my little question.
I also think about college degrees, if I may continue for one moment.
Yes, go for it.
That it's also in the electives that you study, right? And it's like it teaches you like a diversity of study, like a diversity of experiences. Like, oh, you got to go over here and do some art. Oh, you got to go over here and take a language. Oh, you got to go over here and learn like human anthropology, which you never would have taken if given the opportunity. Oh, you need statistics because you can't be a total idiot, right? Like you need to grab all these little things, right? And put all these gen ed requirements together into something. And so I think that there's a lot of value in that robustness. People ask me all the time, oh, were you like a psychology major? It's like, no, I took a hell of a sociology class though, you know, that gave me a lens into the way people think in groups. And I still use that today. So I think that there's a lot to be said for the general education requirements of schools. And I think we like to throw rocks at education because it's not everything we want it to be. But yes, I do think it's extremely important.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's one of the reasons I came to the US for school in the first place was the UK education system. They both have pros and cons, but was way too streamlined for me. And I needed to be able to do different subjects. I needed to be able to change my mind about what I wanted to major in. I needed to be able to take a language and a history class and an art class, as well as taking the subjects, classes for my degree. And at times I was kicking myself and I was like, why did I force myself to take a biology class? But it taught
Why
me
did you force yourself to take a biology class? That's just cruel and unusual.
I aced it.
You aced it.
I did it. And it, who knew? Maybe that could have been the thing that sent me into a career of biology. Clearly did not.
Thank God it didn't.
Thank God it didn't. But I had to give it a try. No. But if I didn't try it, how was I going to know that I didn't want to do it?
All right, let's do this. Let's go into a little part of the program. Overrated or underrated?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this concept?
I am.
Overrated, underrated. Okay. I'm going to give you a topic and you're going to tell me if that is overrated or underrated. You think you can do that?
Yeah.
You will answer and I will tell you if you're right or wrong.
There's a right or wrong answer?
Yeah.
Or is this based on your opinion?
This is my opinion.
Okay.
4-day work weeks and or mental health sick days, overrated or underrated?
Underrated. Wait, I did it the right way. Yeah, underrated.
Why? Why is it underrated?
Okay, so we've all been hearing about this trial of these 4-day work weeks and these companies. And if you give me Friday off, I'm going to work so much harder Monday through Thursday. Not that I don't work as hard as I could, but I guarantee.
Which is it? Hold on, I'm going to challenge you. You said you're going to work so much harder. Wait, but not that I don't work as hard as I can already. Well, which is it, Rhiannon? Are you going to work more with 4 days or 5 days?
More with 4 days.
How?
Because I just think that work is, I love being part of corporate America. I love being an adult, but your life the weekend goes way too quickly. It just does. And I need more time to relax and then come back Monday and I'm refreshed.
Let's just admit there is nothing in it for the business other than keeping you happy. And that is important.
But if I'm happy and I'm energized and I'm well rested, then our Monday morning 2-hour meetings that we have at crack of dawn, I'm going to be on it.
So you're saying Sunday you won't party like a rock star, but you'll instead do it Thursday night and Friday. So Sunday will be more of your Zen, rest, detox day. So that Monday you're fresh?
Yes. I mean, let's be honest. I already go out Thursdays. But it just means that instead of looking really rough in our Friday morning meeting, I can at least pretend that I didn't go out until 2 a.m. the night before.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. We'll consider it. We'll consider it.
All right. We'll chat about it further.
Yeah, let's go. I like it. Next. Zoom interviews, overrated or underrated?
See, I have many thoughts on this one. I feel like I like them, but people don't know how to do them.
Yes.
So
you are correct on both. Well, it's great because it's so funny because we have clients who are like, okay, and then you're going to interview them in person, right? I'm like, not if they're in Taiwan. I'm not.
Yeah, no.
Like it allows us to recruit globally, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. We can recruit from wherever. I can talk to someone. It fits into their schedule. They don't have to commute, like someone that I recently placed was, a new mum who wanted to find a new job and she wouldn't have necessarily been able to commute to go and do an interview, but I found her a job because it was virtual and that was perfect. And I think that it's huge. It makes everyone's lives easier.
Well, what are the issues with Zoom interviews that you're seeing?
I mean, look, I've been using Zoom for the past 2-3 years now because of COVID. I use it for university. I am very, very comfortable with Zoom. So I could definitely be very biased. But I think that not everyone knows the proper etiquette when it comes to a Zoom interview. And
Give me 3 pieces of things people need to know going into a Zoom interview.
Okay. Firstly, don't put your phone in your car and prop it up on the window, on the steering wheel and talk to me from your car. That's not professional. Just in general, like you just need to be presenting yourself in the same way that you would if you were in person. I love being virtual. Of course, I'm wearing my pajama pants underneath my shirt that I'm wearing to work, obviously, but you don't need to be wearing the full onesie for the Zoom call.
The full onesie.
You know,
The onesie. Wear the halfsie, not the onesie.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's just about reading the experience. Like, I spend all day on virtual calls. And yes, when it's a call with Jana, maybe I'm not looking my best. But if it's an interview, you need to be at that level where if I'm trying to get you a job, but you're not willing to present yourself the same way you would in person, then they're not going to hire you. I don't know.
I agree. So basically my rule of thumb here, and I agree with you, is to treat a Zoom interview like an in-person interview.
For sure.
With the exception that it used to be back in the day, if I have a phone interview, like a first interview, it's a phone interview.
Mm-hmm.
I can go out on my lunch break to the parking lot, sit in my car, and ace a phone interview. And now I can't ace a Zoom interview.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. And I think that everyone has differences. And I think that, you know, we've all as a society for the past 2 years seen how different people, we've had to learn to empathize. And I think that you should always be willing to listen to a person's situation. And just because they might not be able to make the Zoom interview as professional as possible, I don't think that means you should discount them. But again, it's about communication. It's about saying, I'm so sorry that this lighting is bad, and explaining X, Y, and Z and explaining the situation. But it's acknowledging that, like, maybe you're not, it's just kind of respect, I guess, to the hiring managers that are sitting and trying to give you this opportunity, and you need to treat it as you would have treated it 4 years ago.
I love it. Next.
It's shutting me up.
LinkedIn connections, overrated or underrated?
I love getting LinkedIn connections. It makes me feel famous.
Can everybody go connect with Rhiannon Brown right now,
I really
please?
don't have that many, and it makes me really sad. So, you know, please friend me. But I mean,
let me ask you this: more followers on Instagram or LinkedIn?
See, if you asked me a year ago, Instagram. Today, don't know why I'm obsessed with LinkedIn. I'm in bed scrolling through my phone. LinkedIn is one of my to-go apps now. Don't know when that change happened, but it did.
LinkedIn is everything.
I love connecting with people. I love seeing what they're doing. It inspires me. People's posts are fun, and I don't know. I think it's great. Jana's plugging.
No, there's a saying: your network is your net worth, and I think LinkedIn. That's true.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why we're here right now. Next. Competitions and incentives, overrated or underrated?
Majorly underrated.
Ooh.
My generation, don't want to speak for everyone. Everyone I surround myself with could just be because they're friends with me. So competitive. You get, like, it's like college kids. If you give college kids free food or free anything, they will run. They will do anything you ask them to do. If you are an employer and you want someone to work harder or want to do better and be more productive, give them some incentives. It works. Trust me.
What kind of incentive, what kind of competition do we need to have at GLOMO?
So I feel like I just win all of them. So I'm trying to think of some rewards that I want.
Oh, wow. This is amazing. I love this already.
No, I'm joking.
Look at this. Danny puts one comment in here. Rhiannon breaks records. And all of a sudden she's like, give me the trophy, the polish, and the little white gloves, because I'm going to take them all home.
I mean, gotta rule it with confidence. No, I mean, you know, I have friends that work for companies that, you know, they'll offer them an extra day of PTO, or they'll offer them a bonus, or they'll offer them some sort of like fun outing. I don't know, like there are just loads of options, but I just think that, you know, sometimes people need a little bit of a kick up the butt.
Okay. All right. We're gonna take that one back and mull that over, Jana. Competitions and incentives. We might do like most sales for July, most placements for July. You know, winner gets a 4-day work week and loser shaves their head or something like that.
Perfect.
We'll do something innovative, something new. Just kidding. Do we have another one? Team building, overrated or underrated?
Traditional team building, overrated, for sure.
Define traditional team building.
Okay, well, I guess I can't really talk because I've never had a full-time job before. But from my perception,
hey, don't let not knowing what you're talking about stop you from having an opinion. That's one of the rules.
Doesn't.
That's one of the premises of Love and Reload.
It really doesn't. I'm just prefacing that I know I don't know anything, and that I'm just talking out of.
Good.
Anyway,
love it.
Anyway, I mean, I think that I don't know, like just in the past, I just feel like team building was just kind of flame and you do icebreakers and you do all these weird little activities. And I don't think that's team building. That makes me anxious. That makes me scared. I don't like to be put on the spot. But if you give me some people to just have a little chat with, go and, go to New York and have a party with, that is great team building.
This is good information before we do an hour-long podcast that you don't like being put on the spot. I will remember to ask these questions before. I do. We do a lot of small talk at the beginning of our morning huddles, and I can see that it does make you anxious too. It kind of sometimes makes me anxious also. But
yeah.
We're going to keep doing it. You'll get used to it.
No, I mean, I love it.
Forever.
I can talk to anyone. I can deal with it. It's more just sometimes, especially with, you being the CEO, I don't always know what's going to come out of your mouth. And it's a fun game at 9 a.m. every morning. What is Ben going to say today?
She doesn't know either. Nobody knows. That's how we keep you on your toes.
It's great learning, but it can be stressful at times.
Fair. Very fair. Very fair. Also, Jenna, let's schedule a virtual happy hour because it sounds like that's more Rhiannon's kind of team building. And no ropes courses in
definitely no ropes courses.
No ropes courses.
No trust rules.
This has been a lot of fun. I feel like I've gotten to know you better, Rhiannon, which is fantastic. Any final thought you want to leave with our amazing audience today?
No, I mean, I guess just thank you, obviously, Ben, for having me, and thank you to the whole team at GLOMO for taking that leap with me and training me through all of this, and just everyone that I've ever worked with. I'm so new to the industry, but everyone still treats me with the same respect as if I'd been there forever. And I think that everyone places a lot of trust in me, and I'm really grateful for that because that's helped me grow. And just, I know. I mean, shout out to all my friends and my family that have supported me. And for anyone, please connect with me. Anyone has any advice, any opportunities, I'm really eager to just jump right in with all of this and really start creating that next chapter of my life. So, yeah.
Fabulous. Well, thank you for being here. And thanks everybody for watching today. Checking out Rhiannon Brown, our newest talent associate at GLOMO. Hit that like button, send some love out to the DMV area, and connect with her on LinkedIn if you have not already. We also have Chuck White this Friday. We're going to be talking about the upcoming IAM conference in Atlanta, November 2nd through the 5th. And we will be talking about early bird and why you should register and what all we have on deck. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We wouldn't have a